this example, intermittent fasting can be thought of as anything between fasting for a full day or maybe two, to the 5-2 diet where you have 500 calories on fasting days, to just moving your breakfast to later in the day. I'm not going to get into the minutiae of what is or isn't intermittent fasting. Other people can argue about that if they so wish. So, things you learn when you try intermittent fasting. Number 1, being hungry is not the worst thing in the world. And number 2, which leads straight on from this, hunger will pass whether you eat or not. Now, I'm sure some of you that haven't tried intermittent fasting have experienced this anyway in your day-to-day life. For example, say you have a meeting and you miss your usual lunchtime. You'll often find that by 3 o'clock, you're not actually hungry for lunch anymore. Some people describe this as being past hungry. And aside from habit, there may actually be a hormonal reason for this. So one of the hunger hormones called ghrelin increases prior to eating and decreases after you eat. Interestingly, ghrelin levels seem to adapt to your eating behaviours, or more your habitual meal timings, so when you usually have your breakfast, lunch and dinner. Or, if you're a bodybuilder, every 2 hours. So ghrelin levels will rise prior to your normal meal timings, coercing you into eating or at least feeling hungry at those times. This could be one reason that we're always hungry at our habitual meal times. And it could be the reason that when we miss these meal times, we're not hungry. So if you're trying intermittent fasting, you may find that, say, you're really hungry at 6 p.m. when you'd usually have your dinner. But then by 8 p.m, you're not really that hungry anymore. And the third thing you will find when you try intermittent fasting is that larger meals are more satiating and often more enjoyable. For many people, myself included, saving your calories for fewer, larger meals is a much more enjoyable way to eat. I would say this is especially true for girls or people on low calories. That is simply because if you're trying to split up 1,500 calories into 4 meals, they're 4 pretty small meals. Whereas if you split them up into 2 meals and a small snack, they're much bigger and more satiating and enjoyable. This is of course down to preference and won't suit everybody. So there you have it. There's no real secret here. It's just another method of splitting up your calories, which for some people make it easier to stick to their diet.